through 3 hours of the regular show on terrestrial radio, and you wanted a little bit more, so that's why you found the Gun Talk After Show podcast, where we saved all the best things that we can't say on regular radio. Now here's Tom, Michelle, and Jim for the Gun Talk After Show.
All right, it's after show time. We have Jim Kinsey, Michelle Cleland. Hello.
Hello.
Greetings.
So before we got on here, Michelle, we were thinking our next show idea is we're just going to wire you up at the gun store and just let people hear what goes on there.
Like the NFL mics?
Yeah, exactly. Why it'd be a hot mic all the time. Holy cow. You know, what the beep? Okay.
That wouldn't be me. That would be the other side.
That would be the other side, yeah. Or are you saying, no, that's okay, just leave it in the case. No, don't point that over here.
Right.
But you guys are $2 higher than I can get at mail order from somebody I don't know.
Well, it's like I have the mic on.
Did I ever tell you about my buddy, the photographer? Really great photographer. We used a lot of his work in magazines, but he had, this is years and years ago. He had a little guy come into his studio, and he had a little photograph. And he said, I'd like to get a copy made of this. And this is way back in film days, right? And my buddy says, you'll love this. This is a merchant joke. It's actually not a joke, story. And Curtis says, so yeah, we can do that. We have to make an inner negative and make a print from it. It'd be $10 to make a print of that. He goes, really? He reaches in his pocket. He pulls out this little clipping, like a little classified ad almost from a magazine. He says, well, these guys say that they can make a print for $1. So how come they can do it for $1 and you charge $10? Without missing a beat, he says, well, that's because they don't have to stand here and talk to you. For those who know, that was Curtis Gillette, a really good photographer and a really fine guy, but he did not suffer fools gladly, to say the least.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, I don't know if you see line one, but we've got a range report follow-up from somebody who spoke to last week, I believe.
I love that. Okay,
and
cool.
I've been itching to find out what this guy's...
All right, so this is Mark calling from Pearland, Texas. We screwed that up last time. Mark, help me out here. What happened? Well, first of all, let's go back to what happened. Tell them about the handgun you have and what was going on.
Okay, Tom, I have a 686 Smith Wesson revolver with a 4-inch barrel. And what happened, I went to the range, and I had several different types of range ammo, 38 Special and 357. And as I went around the cylinder firing, about 3 out of 10, just average, 3 out of 10 of the rounds, no matter what brand, wouldn't fire. There was an indentation on the primer. It looked like a pretty healthy indentation on the primer, but they wouldn't fire. And so sometimes if I went around again, some of them would fire, and some wouldn't. So anyway, I was pretty bummed out about it. My friend who has a Smith & Wesson R8 was having an issue like that a while back, and so I thought, well, maybe I've got the same issue. Well, anyway, I called with your advice. I called the technician at Smith & Wesson.
Right.
And this guy that answered the phone, he's probably one of these guys that's been working there his whole career, probably 30 years or something. But he said, I tell you what, he said, I'll wait on the phone here. Get your screwdriver out. I want you to take the grips off.
No.
Yeah. So I said, okay. Oh, hold on. I said, hold on. Let me run get it. So I got my little gun tool, unscrewed the grips. He said, now, do you see that little screw down there by your strong hand pinky on the inside of the grip?
I know the one you're talking about.
The head of that faces toward the target, and it screws toward you as you're shooting. And he said, that thing should be snug. He says, I bet you anything it backed off. And I said, I don't know. It looks like it's tight. I got my screwdriver. Sure enough, it had backed off 3 turns.
Wow.
By itself. I guess after a period.
Sure.
Maybe it wasn't that tight to begin with, or maybe shooting it, did. Anyway, I tightened it up, and he said, I'm telling you, that's it. He said, take it to the range tomorrow and try it. So I belong to this range a few miles from my house. I'm very, very fortunate to belong to it. It's a private range. Went out there, man, no problem at all. Tom, I was thrilled. I was absolutely thrilled.
That is such a winner. That is that tightens up, if I remember right, the spring that actually is the hammer force. That's a leaf spring.
It's like a leaf spring that goes down through the grip.
It's a big old leaf spring. Exactly right. Yep, I remember that one. Well,
So Tom, I was thrilled yesterday. I told my wife last night around 6 o'clock. I said, I don't know whether I'm happier that my gun, it works fine, and I actually can shoot it well, or the ball game that just ended. I said I'm just thrilled. So go Tigers!
Oh, go Tigers! Was that an unbelievable game? I mean, come on, it's.
Oh, it was unreal. Tom, I'm a transplant. I'm like you. I'm from Louisiana.
Yeah.
And I've been living here a while, but I was born and raised in South Louisiana. And actually, I graduated from LSU back in a long time ago. But I'm thrilled, man. It was a great. Hey, Tom.
Yes.
I had a question about a Ruger. Oh, so I'm sitting out here talking to you, and I'm cleaning my Ruger Mark IV. I took it to the range today, and
okay.
Tom, I had about a 3.5-inch group at 12 yards. A 3.5-inch group at 12 yards with iron sights. Now, for me, that's good.
Okay.
I'm pumped. When I first started shooting,
let me back up. We're talking about the Mark IV semi-automatic 22 rimfire pistol, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. The light, Lite.
Oh, I like that gun.
The light model. Yeah. So what I was going to tell you, I know you know the guys at Ruger, and you talked about the PCC, the pistol caliber carbine, the 9mm, and that they had a model that of course it fits Ruger mags, and then there was an adapter for Glock. Well, I'm an M&P guy. Okay, I shoot M&Ps well. I love them. The Glocks actually. The trigger guard rubs a blister on my finger if I actually shoot it too much. It's just not made for. It's nothing wrong with the gun. It just doesn't fit me good.
Sure.
But the M&P fits me perfectly. Would you please tell the Ruger people that you know someone who would buy one this week if they offered an adapter for M&P magazines? I will buy I will buy a Ruger PCC if I could get an adapter where I can use my M&P magazines. I have a bunch of M&P magazines.
Okay, so here's the thing. You know that you don't have to buy a Glock pistol to buy Glock magazines, right?
But I don't. But I want to standardize on M&Ps, Tom. I love the M&P. I don't have any. The only use I would have for a Glock magazine is if
would be in the pistol caliber carbine.
But why can't they make an adapter for an M&P and then I wouldn't have to worry? To me, it would give them more. I would buy one. I would buy one if they did that.
I will pass it along. I'm sure they looked at it and said, okay, look, who sells the most pistols? It's Glock, of that type, and we'll accommodate that. I don't know, honestly, what the numbers are, and I know it may not be true anymore. Back in the old days, we're talking 25, 30 years ago, there was a massive animosity between Ruger and Smith Wesson. Mm-hmm. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. I mean, we're talking to the point where I can't remember if it was one company or the other. And this is before the present ownership of either of the companies. So they both changed hands. But I remember they were told, they went into gun stores, and Michelle, you may remember this.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, if you carry that brand, you cannot have our brand.
Yeah.
You have to choose.
Yeah. So in distribution, you had to have several suppliers because one would carry Ruger and one would carry Smith.
Right. They never the twain shall meet. So that was, now I don't think it's that way anymore because, that was like back under Bill Ruger. And he was a curmudgeonly, crotchety genius. He was all of that, but he had the way he wanted things. Now, Bill's been dead for 2 decades, and the Rugers have not owned the company for a long time. I will pass it along for what it's worth. I don't know how far we'll get with it, but at the same time, I'm trying to think. Now, I don't remember. I got to go look up. Does Smith have they done anything like that in a carbine where you could use your M&P mags?
No.
They should.
It's only November, though, so.
This is true.
Man.
What's
Stuff's
coming up,
out.
Tom? You know something.
I truly wish I could tell you what we're doing this week. I'll be able to tell you.
Go ahead. Nobody's listening.
Yeah, just between the two of you.
We'll delay the broadcast.
Yeah, here. You guys close your ears, okay? Yeah, there's so many cool things coming out from all these companies. It's really going to be exciting. It's like, new calibers, new guns, new things. And it's like going, oh, man, it's a grand time. And then, I don't know if you, look, Mark, I'm sorry, Mark. Thank you for your call, and thank you for keeping us up to date on this. This is very cool. This is why I keep telling people, if they have a problem with a gun, call the gun maker, give them a chance. They're the ones that know the product the best. So that was cool. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
All righty. I mean, Michelle, so somebody brings a gun into you and say, hey, I bought this gun. It does this X, Y, Z. You go, why don't we contact Ruger or Smith? Because they don't want you to be telling the world, I got it, whatever it is, it's not working right.
That's true. Any of the big manufacturers, none of them want that.
And you'll probably get a guy like Mark did, where you call in and the guy says, yeah, I've been here 30 years. I've seen that. He says, look, take the grip panels off. See that little screw down there? It's going to be backed off. Well, son of a gun, it is. Screw it in. It's going to fix your deal. Problem solved.
Same is true if you have a good local gunsmith.
So true. I mean, the ones who have gray in their hair, that's the ones you want. They've seen it all, right?
Yes.
Or they may be like only 30 years old, but they've dealt with some problem guns.
Right.
So that gave them the gray hair,
No
too.
doubt.
I can't get this ready to shoot.
Yeah. And as for Mark's request about instead of just the Ruger and the Glock mags, I'm thinking they went with Glock because it's probably the number one selling mag for handguns.
Certainly.
And where do you draw the line? Okay, we're going to do it for Smith, but now what about us Springfield guys?
Right.
I mean, it could never end. So
right. Well, and I think Kel-Tec's set up the same way.
Yeah.
Their sub guns are set up with the Glock magazine.
Yeah, because and not just in this country. I'm sure
right.
Glock's big.
But you know what? I do have to go back on that because I do believe that Kel-Tec you can choose Smith or Glock.
Oh, really?
So I think I'm going to have to go back on saying I don't think there's anybody out there with that. Smith doesn't make one, but Kel-Tec makes one.
Huh.
Okay,
we'll have to check on that. That's very interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It'd be like the old audio days where you have 35 adapters. You buy like a wheel of adapters. Yeah, you can put any mag in here.
That's why you have a bandolier that you're wearing, just with adapters, right?
And you can appreciate his problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he has like the rest of us, he's got a box full of mags there. Look, I've got 15, M&P mags. Okay, I get that.
Ever since he mentioned Pearland, though, I'm hungry for fruit salad.
Oh, my.
Oh, my God.
I think it is Pearland.
It is
Pearland, yeah.
Okay. Keep on. You know what it is? I look at it, it's Pearl.
Looks like
So I
Pearl.
want to make it Pearl and... Yeah, that's not right.
That's your southern thing, Pearland.
Yeah, Pearland, y'all.
It could be P. Arland.
I'm going to carry my grandma down to Pearland.
I'm from P. Arland.
That's what we say. We're going to carry my grandma. Oh, yeah. We're going to go. And I'm fixing to do that.
Yes.
And then if you are in New Orleans, which is a very different part of the world, you don't go shopping for your groceries. You are making groceries.
Oh.
You make them?
Yes, when you go to the store, you're making groceries. You're buying groceries, but they call it making groceries.
Do you need the definition for bless her heart?
I was just going to say, it's time for a break. Bless our hearts.
Funny you should mention it. I just posted that on Twitter to the guy who was giving me the whole, how many gunfights have you been in? And I just said, bless your heart.
Great answer to that was, well, let's just say I've never lost one.
Yeah, it's like, okay, or what do we do? We're going to get out the rulers here and start doing the measuring contest.
Right.
Come on.
It's the ego thing there.
Yeah, you go, okay. I do have a friend.
No way.
No.
Unbelievable. You had me up until that.
You guys are not nice. I'm just saying.
We're jerks.
You really are.
No, not one.
That's
You
it.
have several friends.
I'm just not going to tell my story now. I'm just not.
It worked. So, interesting story you're about to tell. Before or after break?
I'm sorry. Could you tell him I'm not talking to him?
Mom.
Jim.
It's on my side of the studio.
Pipe down over there, Jim. He's not talking to you.
Don't go over that line.
Are we there yet?
Not touching.
Dad always liked you best.
Yes, he did.
No, the one I like was the family's friends of my wife, who, when they were kids, they were taking family vacations, and one of them they'd be sleeping in the back, and one of them be acting up, and the parents would pull over the car, and they'd wake up and say, "Wake up!" I said, "What are you doing? Wake up! We all have to get a whipping."
It's your turn to get the switch.
Oh gosh, the old days.
Yes.
So, let's see. What can I tell you about that's coming out here?
Do you want to dwell on it when we get this break out of the way? You hear music ramping up.
Yeah, okay. That's because you're ramping it up. Don't try to put that on me, like blame it on somebody else. I know what you're up to, Mr. Production Engineer Dude Guy. Bless your heart.
It's called being persuasive. Bless my heart.
Bless your heart.
Yeah.
Smith Wesson announces a new rebate for the popular M&P 9 Shield and M&P 380 Shield EZ pistols. Qualifying purchases made between October 14th and December 8th are eligible for a $50 prepaid card. Terms and conditions apply. Visit smith-wesson.com/shield 2019 for complete details. More than 3 million people have chosen the M&P Shield family of pistols for their personal protection needs. Shouldn't you?
Temps are dropping and the leaves are changing, which means it's time to think outerwear from Proper. From mid-temperature fleece pullovers and soft-shell jackets, to packable wind and rain protection, to the frigid-fighting 3-in-1 hard-shell parka, Proper has you covered, no matter your budget or how bad it gets outside. Visit Proper.com for the complete lineup of Proper outerwear to keep warm throughout the chilly months.
Visit guntalk.com/win for your chance to win the Fall-A-Day giveaway. Grand prize package includes a gun safe, a 9mm handgun, a .308 rifle, a thermal rifle scope, a package of holsters, and a shooting system for training. Plus, 3 first prize packages. Prizes provided by Alien Gear Holsters, ATN Optics, Federal Premium Ammunition, Liberty Safe, Mantis, and Ruger. Enter now through December 13th at guntalk.com/win.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. shopguntalk.com.
So, bullets. We like sending bullets downrange.
Projectiles.
And, no, I really am not wanting to get into a gunfight. I kind of like to avoid the whole thing. The thing about being in a gunfight is there are no rules that say you don't get shot.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're the good guy, I understand that, but the halo doesn't really protect you.
But I've watched a lot of movies, Tom.
Well,
I know how to gunfight. I've seen a lot of movies. I've seen westerns. I've seen
spent thousands of hours doing Call of Duty. So just there it is.
Right.
I just thought with Jim's new fascination, he'd pull out his lever action rifle and take care of business.
Hey, I got a new gun. I got me a 44 Special single action flat top.
You did?
I did.
Wow.
4-inch, 3-inch?
It is a 4 5/8 inch Ruger flat top. It is just cute as it can be. It has rosewood grips, not those rubber grips, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sitting there in the consignment area of the local gun store, and it's one of those you're thinking, I don't need that, but I really like it.
Every time he puts that 24x9 scope on the top, that's going to look great.
24x9.
Yeah, it was figuring out where to put the sling.
What the hell is that thing on your pistol? Well, you never can be too prepared.
Some of the old revolvers, they had a lanyard loop on the bottom.
Yep, I did know that.
And you know what that was for, don't you?
So you could, if you dropped it, you didn't have to get off your horse to get your gun.
Exactly. That's right. So I always figured that if they're shooting from horseback, I wonder why they didn't shoot their horse in the back of the head, some of those guys.
How the horses don't freak out.
I bet, really, it's that old joke. The guy says, he went hunting on horseback and says, "Can you shoot off this horse?" He says, "Sure."
Once?
Yeah, exactly. Shoots and horse bucks him off. I thought you said I could shoot off. Yeah, you can once. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly it. So you might not want to do that. You might want to step off that horse before you fire a shot there.
Your horse didn't move when you shot. Well, my horse is deaf.
That's right. Say what?
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, God.
So we got bullets coming. We've got cool new calibers and old calibers, right? We got old calibers coming back.
I think Nosler just announced the 27 Nosler, which is a 270 caliber.
Mm-hmm.
Again, same deal. Faster twist rate on the barrel.
Which means lighter projectile.
No. Which means you can use a longer
BC. Okay.
Yeah,
BC
and the longer projectile gives you a higher BC. If it's a nice long pointy bullet, which gives you all of those magical properties of wind bucking. Again, out to 400 yards, it doesn't really make any difference at all. But for those who are doing long-range shooting, it really is helpful. I am still, I realize I may at some point reverse myself on this, but I am still not a fan of the long-range hunting thing. Just am not. I mean, I see people say, yeah, and my 12-year-old daughter shot that elk at 727 yards. And I'm thinking, was it impossible to get closer? I mean, was the goal to shoot from a long way off? Because I think a lot of times it is.
Yeah, but I think a lot of those stories, too, are like fishing stories. It's a 150-yard poke, and yeah, she got it at 325.
Well,
metric.
Maybe, but I tell you, they're shooting video of everything, and they got the laser rangefinders and all. And if you have a solid rest, and if you're a really good shot, and if there's no wind, and that's the big if. There's no wind. You can pull it off. But the question is, are you willing to say no if you can't put all those factors together? If you can't really hold steady, if you don't, knowing how far it is easy now. That's nothing. That's zap it with the laser rangefinder, and it's 727 exactly. Take 3, shots of it, and it all comes out within a yard, and you know exactly what it is. We're pretty close to, and I think I saw some, Michelle, I'm trying to remember who it was, but where the laser rangefinder is built into the scope, which also does electronically changes the crosshairs, so once you shoot it, you just shoot it.
That's true.
Well, actually, SIG has that right now with a system it's a separate laser rangefinder, but it talks to the scope, Bluetooth. So you shoot the distance with your laser rangefinder, and your scope gets that information, and you've already put all the data in from your cartridge and the bullet, the BC, and everything else. And you just hold on because it has automatically adjusted the crosshairs for you. Interesting.
Same way with building thermal technology into the scopes, which are starting to become a little bit more affordable for the common person. But these items are expensive.
They are. But then again, as I've often said, we will spend an awful lot on our toys and our hobbies. It's how much will you spend? Well, everything you have, pretty much.
All of this week's pay?
Yeah. No. All of the next 3 weeks' pay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because we can put it on the card, and then you don't really have to pay for it. Yeah, let's run up the bill.
This just in, I've got an emergency text, Tom, we need to address.
Oh, yes. No.
It's from my friend Lori. She and her husband were listening to the show today. Because obviously they have nothing better to do.
I'd go as soon as I need a life.
Get a life, right? It says, LOL, Tom Gresham's comment about the open carry beep beeps with their cheap POS holsters. I'm going, yeah, he was able to slip that in. That's great.
Well,
but it's true. I mean, think about it.
What's
your ankle holster? My athletic sock.
I've seen them, and they've got the worst, awfulest holsters. Now, I know it's not universally true, but
right. But they got $6,000 into an AR.
In many cases, they're carrying a pistol, open carrying, because they're going to make a statement, but they're not really in it all. They're all about making the political statement, and we've had them, when we're doing our TV shows, and they're awful. They're the ones we have had. Now, this doesn't speak to all of them, but the ones we have had are big proponents of open carry. They carry their pistols openly and all that, and they are just freaking dangerous with their muzzle control. I think I've shared the story. I had to threaten one of them. Physically threaten him. I had forgotten that they had a microphone on him when I walked up and just whispered in his ear, and I said, if you point that gun at me one more time, I am going to punch you in the effing throat. And all the camera guys who are monitoring the audio, it's kind of like their eyes really got real big because they'd never heard me talk like that to anybody. And it said, you know what was interesting? After that, he didn't do it again. How about that? It's just, I don't know, but people say, I made the statement, I said, look, 80% of the people think they're in the top 20%. I made it up. But it's a kind of a way of making the point that most people don't really have a good idea of their level of competence.
What they don't know, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you are a regular IDPA or an IPSC or USPSA shooter, because you're getting scored. If you're a 3-gunner, Michelle, you know where you are, right?
Absolutely.
Because you're getting the score and you're going, okay, I'm I am not an A-class shooter. I'm, damn whatever it is. But if you're just going out to the range and shooting occasionally, you have no idea. You're not stacking up against anybody else. You know what? Even if all you did was go to the range with a buddy, assuming you're at a place where you can draw and shoot, you could either get a timer out, or you guys can, if you have a timer and you're just shooting, as we call it, man on man, basically person on person, and just see who's the fastest. But please don't do that unless you've had a lot of training. Otherwise, you're going to be, limping around. They'll call you Stumpy. It's like,
By the way, Michelle, you can stop looking up on your phone. The effing it's an archery term. It's fletching.
Fletching.
It's fletching throat.
Okay.
Is what he meant.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. I'll just put this down now then.
Yeah. Just trying to, don't want anybody finding your history and.
Yeah.
So there it is.
I was just going to let it go. I mean.
Probably best. Let it go. Wait a minute. I won't sing that for you.
Yeah, please. Now that we've got number 2 coming, Frozen 2.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, I'm going to just have to rush out to finally see number 1.
Yeah,
Yay.
when you have granddaughters, you hear the songs.
Oh, yes.
And Moana was playing in the other room while we were watching the LSU-Alabama game yesterday.
Did she find out who she is and
Have no idea. Don't even know who she is.
faced her fears? And
I am so happy to not know. In this case, I am proud of being ignorant.
there you go.
I would like to not know forever, basically.
And keep that gunfight count down to 0, will you?
That's right. I'm working on that. You know what I forgot to talk about today? We're heading toward, we're actually in cold weather season. Different kind of clothes, different kind of carry.
Yeah. Yep.
Can you dig out your gun, when you're all bundled up? Or do you want to just, I think you had mentioned, Jim, why not just stick one in the coat pocket?
Well, I guess I look at winter clothing as a way to carry 2 or 3 more. As opposed to I only got one that's going to be hard to get to.
Yeah.
I have 3 or 4 to choose from now.
Yeah. I do like the idea of a hammerless revolver in a coat pocket where you don't actually have to withdraw it to shoot it.
Shoot right through.
For those who don't know if you're going to do that, that's just really fun to do sometime at a range that will let you do it. Do it with an old coat. And what you want to do is shove your hand forward as far as you can while you're wearing the coat. And your other hand, stick it up there and slap it on your chest because you don't want it waving out there in front of the muzzle that's coming out of your coat pocket. When you shoot, you may well set your coat on fire, and that's just a bonus, man, because you talk about scaring the dudes and they run away, man. If you set yourself on fire, oh, yeah.
Here's Tom Gresham for Hot Pockets. I think your PR guy set you up with the wrong company there, Tom.
Oh, right.
I don't think that's what they meant.
That's when you go with the big 357 Magnum short barrel.
Flamethrower.
Lots of flamethrowers, yeah, going that right. Now, we could sell a whole line of conceal carry asbestos coats.
Oh, my goodness.
What do you think? We're onto something here.
Oh, yeah, you are.
We can make dozens of dollars.
On radar to be red flag lawed.
Yeah,
This guy's nuts. Listen to him. Talking about asbestos coats and pockets that are shoot-throughable. And your point?
And your point. Yeah, exactly. And
Bless his heart.
that's right. It's what we do, right? It's like, I always love when people start to talk about, I talk about shooting through walls, and they go, yeah, but the other thing, and I go, well, have you done any of this? Well, no, but I said, well, I've actually done this. We went out and built walls, sheetrock walls, and shot through them with every kind of gun we could find, long guns, short, handguns, shotguns, ARs. Rather than guess, how about just test? Oh,
Nice little rhyme.
shooting through purses. We've shot a lot of purses up. Same deal for a woman. Your hand in your purse with the revolver, always a revolver, semi-auto. It'll go bang one time. It'll probably jam after the first shot.
Right.
Which is okay. I mean, if you want to withdraw it, do a tap rack and get it back, assuming you've got that level of training.
That's a song. Tap rack and get it back. Yeah. I can see this week.
I got enough.
That's
I
an
got enough.
80s rocker right there, right?
I could see both of our listeners this week. They're going to say, yeah, sit up for what you believe in. And, hey, can I borrow your coat? To the guy next to you on the range. Hey, can I borrow your coat for a second?
For the 2 women who are left listening, here's your tip on shooting with a purse and a gun and a purse. With your hand on the gun, shove it out away from your body, and with your other hand, grab the strap of the purse and kind of pull that in towards you so that if you're shooting right-handed, your left hand is not out there. But also, you can do a point and shoot pretty well by just shoving that purse out, because you're only going to be doing that if the guy's like 3 or 4 feet in front of you.
You're not going to do a 100-yard shot through the purse, right?
It's almost contact distance, really.
Right.
What we do find, though, is when after the first shot and you blow up your purse, as you keep shooting, sometimes the muzzle will end up sticking out of the hole you just shot in the purse, and now you got this purse with the gun muzzle sticking out of it. Just kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
A whole different thing going on.
I like it.
It's concealed carry, but not really.
Partially concealed. The weapon previously known as concealed.
That's right. That's why you always carry a roll of duct tape in your purse.
Right. I don't.
Preferably
That's funny. I
color.
don't carry duct tape in my purse, but I may start.
Yeah.
I actually have a small bit of duct tape in my wallet.
Do you?
Yeah, just take about 6-8 inches and roll it up on itself. Just make a little roll of it and shove it down.
Because you never
where keep
know.
the dollar bills. You don't know, and if you could strip off several pieces of that are only a 1/4 inch wide, you could stitch up, make a bandage, hold on a bandage. You could do stuff like that. You don't know what you're going to need.
Especially in all those gunfights you're in.
That's true. Also, you can use that as a makeshift way to strap your gun to your chest.
Wow.
Just in case. You never know. I'm telling you. It's a new concealed carry technique.
What kind of holster is that? Duck brand.
Wasn't that what Bruce Willis did in the first Die Hard on his back?
Oh.
Remember that? He taped a pistol onto his back? And one of the last scenes? Yeah, he did do that. He used some kind of packing tape or duct tape.
I don't know, but Christmas season is coming, so that's a great Christmas movie.
That is a Christmas movie. Okay, this is everybody's assignment is to check out the guns. I particularly like the, ho, 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 now I have a machine gun.
Just think of it. You take out that gun and a duct tape pulls all the hair off your back, Michelle.
Kelly Clarkson. Everybody's heard that, right?
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess who won't be a guest on the show anytime in the near future?
I think the restraining order is still in place. So it's,
A team restraining order.
That's in a
no one's
movie.
allowed to
Come
have to do
on.
that anyway. And if it's not, she could probably get it renewed.
Just re-up it.
So I would like to throw out there in all of our seriousness that happy birthday to you, Mr. Gresham, tomorrow.
Thank you.
And to all of our veterans and their families. Thank you for all you have done.
Yeah, for your family, because you're heavily populated with veterans.
Yes, we are.
Heavily
Active
vetted.
and former. So
Yes. So
we appreciate that. And the support network that you provide for them. That's a big deal, too.
Yep.
yes, that's not just a single person.
Speaking of people who go places and do things, that's kind of what your family has done through the years.
It is.
Yes, it is. So, in your case, you go places and wear big, heavy, sweaty, smelly wool clothes and reenactments, but that's a whole different thing.
With holes in through the pocket.
Just stay downwind, would you? I'm just saying.
Right, yeah. I'll walk up there with my scabbard.
Nice.
When you're wearing like 30-year-old wool
That off my
blankets.
back. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, goodness. Oh, well. Trying to think if there's anything I've been hearing that's interesting. I mean, yeah, you're going to see more 27s. Going to see some really cool new stuff that we haven't seen before. And I was talking to a gun store owner recently. The whole Henry rifle deal, I think they have tapped into a real interest in the throwback to the older style guns.
Why do you say that, Tom?
Yes. I'm just saying, Miss Lever Action Lady over here.
I was just wondering why you were saying.
Yeah. Don't you think that there's a real interest in that?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more of that, going back to older classic guns. After you've had your 5th or 6th or 27th AR, it's kind of like, yeah, okay, that was fun, but I want to go do something different now. Mm-hmm. And just, okay,
I got me a lever.
Got me a lever action and a single action pistola, which is, they're just fun. They just are.
He's so well versed in languages.
Thinking about this, Michelle, this new Ruger I got, black front sight, black rear sight. I'm thinking about maybe a brass or gold front sight.
Okay.
Those are pretty slick, and they catch light. I mean, I know that fiber optic is the thing now, but I still like those old brass front sights. They look pretty cool.
I shot the SIG SAS, or the SAS.
Okay, so you heard me talk about it, so now I want to hear you talk about it. What do you think?
Quite different.
Well, when you first look at it, it just looks real goofy, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the gun.
There's no front sight, there's no rear sight.
Nope. And it is definitely a pistol. I mean, there's no other way about it. You have to drop the mag to close the slide down because you can't really hit that slide release.
Right.
It's a drop mag gun.
Right.
But it's quite different to shoot. That technology is already kind of out there in the archery world, but not quite like what SIG has done. It's just different to shoot.
Did you hit stuff with it?
I did. Yep. I hit my target every time. I don't know, just interesting how different it is.
It would take, I think I would want to put several hundred rounds through it before I carried it as my carry gun so that I would know what to expect when it came up, and I wouldn't be looking for the front sight.
That's the thing, because you still find yourself looking over the slide for the sight. So it really kind of is a power thing of bringing the hand up a little bit more to see the sight. But fascinating technology. I can see where it's applicable on the concealed carry side.
Oh yeah, and that's all it is. That's all that gun is.
Yep.
It's a close-up concealed carry gunfighting rig. So for those of us who try to get into our weekly gunfights, this would be nice to have.
I like to have situational awareness so I can avoid those.
No, you gotta have situational awareness so you can go find them.
It's just like push-ups. The more you do, the better you get at it.
Yeah, until you don't come home.
Yeah.
So there you go. So, okay, having ticked off the open carry guys, the activist, and ticked off the I've been in more gunfights than you have crowd, is there anybody that we would like to particularly tick off today?
I think the GOP voters in Virginia who didn't get out and vote. Didn't get a harumph out of you.
I didn't get a rump from that guy over there. Rump. Thank you. No, classic. Yes. Stay home, lose. This is a really simple concept. You stay home, you lose.
Yeah, but the other guy, there's enough of us out there that are going to...
Or, in many cases, you go and vote for the Democrat thinking they're not going to take our guns anyway. Actually, yes, they are. Well, yes, they will. At first, they will simply stop the sale of them, and then they will require more and more, and they will regulate ammo sales, and then you won't be able... I'm telling you, in Virginia, they're going to pass a magazine capacity limit. They're going to pass a ban on some, if not all, semi-automatic firearms.
Before January 1. Pretty close. No. I bet you something passes by January 1.
No, because I don't think the legislature comes in until next year. They've got the new legislature that actually takes office. I think it's
on the state level. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just going to get horrendous, and then it's a battle in the courts when you could have just stopped it. But it is that old deal. The problem is everybody has a life, and people are not plugged into following this the way we do. And so you must have outreach. This is at the core of the issue. You must have outreach, which is advertising. In other ways, Bloomberg can buy advertising, but also his groups are really smart. They go in and meet with the editorial boards of all the newspapers and all the TV stations, and they get them all on board, and they twist their advertising. I mean, not their advertising, their editorial. Okay, here's one I didn't talk about. I'll share this with you. I didn't talk about it on the show. Last Friday, in the city of Philadelphia, there was an all-day seminar held, and it was a seminar for journalists. And the crux of it was, how do we report on gun violence in such a way to advance the gun control agenda?
Jeez. They're not even hiding it now.
No.
They're teaching it.
Imagine if we said, we're going to have an all-day seminar for journalists on how to report on the abortion issue so that we can overturn Roe v. Wade. They would say, correctly, that is a grotesque perversion of what journalism is about. That would be correct. But what they're doing is also a grotesque perversion of what journalism is about. And, as I mentioned this to somebody on Friday, they said, well, who's funding this? I said, take one guess. Bloomberg.
Yep.
Bloomberg dollars, the Everytown Group, the Moms Demand Action. Bloomberg puts money into the Johns Hopkins School of, I don't know, if it's criminal justice or something. It all comes through all of that. So it's all that money flowing around. And when you can change the messaging, when most people are not plugged into this the way we are, that's all they hear. They think that makes sense. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. We can do that. Not only can they win, they are winning. And I'm telling you right now, if Bloomberg gets serious about wanting to run for president, he would be a very, very strong challenger to Trump. And I would say that there's a real decent chance he could win. And at that point, there's nowhere to move to. Right. So, ugly stuff. Once again, the bottom line of that is everybody's got to get involved.
Yep.
Active. So there you go. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm going to go see if there's any more used guns at the gun store. I only want one. One more.
One more.
Each time. Simple as that.
Well.
All right, guys.
You're not going to get an argument from us on that.
No. I'm expecting you to say, yes, you should go buy one more, right?
It's a sample now. We just press a button and it repeats it.
There you go.
Go ahead and buy it, Tom. Go ahead and buy it, Tom.
Good. All right, I have permission. I have a permission slip. I can buy this now. All right. You guys have a great week. I will be reporting a little bit on my shooting activities. I'm going to be doing a gunfighting class this weekend, so I'll report back on that when I get back.
Well, then you'll be certified to get in as many gunfights as you want then, right?
Ooh, maybe I'll have a permission card. That'd be cool.
Be good.
All right. Take care, guys.
Stay safe.
Well, that wraps up another Gun Talk After Show. But if you want even more gun-related stuff, don't forget to check out Gun Dealio. It's the app for Apple and Android phones that connects you to all the Gun Talk shows, plus even more. And we'll catch you next time for the Gun Talk After Show.